Hey, I'm Courtney with a K, and today we're discussing self-care. It is so nice to have you guys back as we discuss the final topic of my February love series. Just to recap, we have discussed self-doubt, self-esteem, and self-love. And last but definitely not least, we're going to discuss self-care. Self-care is currently a buzzword. I'm pretty sure you've probably heard it in several circles. I know I heard it more than once watching Insecure, Self-Care Sundays. I mean, self-care is like a hot topic, a trending topic right now, especially in light of COVID, this recent pandemic and this past year, and just how rough it has been. A lot of people are looking for ways to maintain themselves, to maintain their health and things of that nature. So self-care is something that we are looking for. We're seeking information about it. How do we do it? What is it? How often do we do it? So we're looking for that information out there. And I felt, what better way to end the love series than to discuss self-care? Because I feel that self-care is an extension of self-love, or maybe even an activity that you can complete to show yourself that you love yourself. So with self-care being a trending topic right now, I know that there are probably certain activities that just immediately come to your mind, like long baths and, treating yourself to a mani-pedi, which, I mean, don't get me wrong, those activities are activities that I actually enjoy, and they are a form of self-care. But self-care is more than that. It's more than pampering the physical. Self-care is also about nurturing and caring for your mental and emotional health. And that's really what I want to focus on today. So what is self-care? Self-care is defined, according to dictionary.com, as the practice of taking action to preserve or improve one's health. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 3 ways that you can practice self-care. My first self-care technique is setting boundaries with the word no. I'm sorry. It is 2021, sis, and we are going to have to tell people no. I mean, there's just no way around it. You're just going to have to say, no, I'm not interested. Thank you for the opportunity, but it really doesn't fit with my schedule right now. We are going to have to Google ways to respectfully decline. I mean, it's just necessary, because when we don't say no and we take on more than we can bear, we become overwhelmed. It stresses us. And that's not the way that we take care of our mental and our emotional. Setting boundaries with the word no has helped me. I mean, it has drastically improved my overall mental health. I mean, there's still room for improvement, of course, but for the most part, it has kind of like given me that extra push in making myself a priority and valuing myself. Not only am I showing myself that I love myself, but I'm also like valuing and prioritizing my time, because I would find myself tied into things that I didn't want to do, or attending things that I didn't want to attend simply because of the people pleaser in me, right? But it's actually helping me to stop people pleasing. So, I mean, overall, setting these boundaries are necessary. And I actually learned about boundaries in 2019 when I read this book called Boundaries in Marriage by Cloud John Townsend. So it was in that book that I realized that I need some boundaries about myself. Like, I really need to start telling people no, because for the longest, I thought when you told people no, that was rude. Where did that come from? I don't know, but I honestly felt that it was rude to say no to someone. But it's actually good for me. It's a way that I, again, preserve my well-being, preserve my health. And that's how you have to look at it. Those boundaries in place with no lets people know that this is where I'm drawing the line. Like, this is it, But it also helps in like demonstrating and kind of like showing where you're responsible, what is your responsibility and what is others' responsibility. One of the greatest points of the book that I read was the illustration that they give us about how, just think about your yard and how you have a fence around your yard. You having a fence around your yard and your neighbor having a fence around theirs just lets you and your neighbor know that my yard is my responsibility and your yard is your responsibility. And just having that illustration in my mind sometimes helps me when it comes to saying no. It helps me realize that, I am not responsible for X, Y, and Z. So it helps me, like I was carrying other people's emotions, other people's burdens and things like that sometimes, or taking on things that I shouldn't. And so it helps having that boundary and having that illustration in my mind just kind of helps me navigate like, Courtney, this is your responsibility. You are responsible for your actions. You're responsible for the things that you say. Your neighbor is responsible for the things that he or she says. My neighbor is responsible for the things that he or she does. I am responsible for me, my reaction, my response. It is the absolute best thing that I have learned in 2019. It was like the highlight for me. And so you really need to get the book, okay? And it will actually help you and benefit you too. And it actually, you'll also see an improvement in your relationships. Like once those boundaries are set, oh God, it helps because if you're in a situation where you're in a relationship or you have like a friendship or anything with someone who also doesn't have boundaries, it helps them to understand that, this is my fence, this is my yard. And I'm responsible for my yard. So then they stop carrying your stuff. You stop carrying their stuff. And it's like you both end up growing and becoming healthy. And so it's just a benefit. Make sure that you are setting boundaries with the word no. Say no, sis. No, not today. Thanks. Self-care technique number 2 is protect your peace. By any means necessary, protect your peace. Because if you don't protect your peace, you're going to be on an emotional roller coaster, sis, and we do not have time for it. I'm sorry. We have things to do and we don't have time to be on up and down in our emotions. So it's definitely important that we learn how to protect our peace. So protecting your peace is really tied into number 1, which is setting those boundaries. Because when you set those boundaries, you provide yourself that little space, your yard, where you are responsible for your reactions and your emotions. And everyone else is responsible for their own. And I think the first thing that's important about protecting your peace is in order to protect your peace, you need to know what disrupts it. You need to know who disrupts it. Who disrupts your peace? Who disrupts your peace? Okay? You have to know your triggers. What are your triggers? What things can cause you to be upset? Whether it is to the point of tears, or if it is to the point of angry, I want to fight. What sets you off? You need to know. We have to know. Because in order for us to protect our peace, we need to make sure that at all times we are able to remove ourselves from situations or even people that could possibly bring that out of us. Okay? Because we don't want to allow people to control our emotions, because that's simply what it is. When someone gets you all worked up and riled up, they're controlling your response. And I state my boundary. I say what my expectation is, or how I feel that I deserve to be treated, or how I will be treated, or how I will be spoken to, things of that nature. Once I address that, if the said person continues to be, the opposite of that, and they want to continue to trigger me and bring about that type of reaction out of me, then I remove that person. I change, like that quote says, I can't change the people around me, but I can change the people around me. And that's what I choose to do. And when you change the people around you, you are choosing to protect your peace. Because there are 2 types of people. You have unhappy people and you have miserable people. Unhappy people are people who are unhappy with themselves, or maybe even their current life conditions or their circumstance at the moment. At one point in time in my life, I was an unhappy person. But let me tell you what the difference between being an unhappy person and being a miserable person is. The difference between an unhappy and miserable person is an unhappy person is just unhappy. A miserable person is unhappy with themselves and possibly their life circumstance, but they want you to also be miserable with them. They want you to be unhappy too. They want to pull you down right along with them. Those are those type of people. And then they also, they have unresolved issues. And who has time for that? I have my own unresolved issues in my yard. I have things that I'm still struggling with and dealing with in my yard. Who has time? I got to deal with my stuff in my yard and deal with the stuff in your yard? No. Protect your peace. Put that fence up. Put that fence up. We have to. It is necessary. In a perfect world, I would deal with my issues in my yard, my own self issues, and grow and evolve. And the people that we love would deal with their issues in their yard and grow and evolve. But realistically, like, everyone doesn't do the work that is necessary to grow. And that's just the sad reality about it. You know, everyone isn't going to do the work. And so it leaves you no choice. You know, you're either going to hinder your growth and hinder where you're going by continuing to associate with these people, or you are going to cut ties so that you can continue to grow. Sometimes I feel bad when it comes to like cutting someone off, because I think, oh, cutting someone off, that's so harsh. But in actuality, it's not you. It's them. It's them who are handing you the scissors. Like, go ahead, you know, do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Because once you have stated to someone and communicated to them what triggers you or what's bothering you, if that person is deciding that the relationship isn't valuable enough, they're deciding that they don't value the relationship enough, or they don't respect you enough to change their behavior, then it's a decision that they are making. It's a choice that they are making. So again, we're back with the fences. You can't control their response. That's in their yard. Their emotions, their responses, their behavior, the things that they say and they do, that's on them. That has nothing to do with you. That has nothing to do with you. And if they choose to continue to do things that you tell them not to do, then they're choosing not to deal with you. And that's just how you're going to have to look at it so that you can do what you got to do. My third and final self-care technique is rest. Yeah, you need to rest, sis. You need to chill out, you know, veg out, watch a movie. I don't know. You just need to chill. You need to go sit down somewhere. This culture, and right now it's all about chasing the bag, getting the bag, you know, grinding, you know, and all of that has its place. It does. It has its place in the grand scheme of things. But at the same time, like, you overworked, you stressed out, you snapping at people because you frustrated, you're not getting enough sleep. Homegirl, you need to rest. You need to rest. It's been said that there are like 7 different types of rest, and you're going to have to look up what all 7 of them are because I'm not about to go through the list of what each of them are. But there are, you know, like, you need physical rest. Sometimes you have to have like a rest from, you know, your senses. I think there's a quiz online where you can actually take it and answer the questions, and it'll tell you what type of rest you need. But rest is so important, right? How can you be the best you if you don't get rest? You can't pour from an empty cup. And if I am stressed out and overstimulated, overworked, overbooked, you know, we have that little saying like booked and busy. I mean, yeah, I'm glad that you booked, sis. I am. But, you know, like, you need to take a break. You need to chill out. Like, yes, everything has its place, but sometimes you just need to be like, not today. Number one, not today. I can't do it today. I can't take on that other engagement. So, because I need to rest. And when I say rest, I don't mean like have a day off and then be at home and you're like cooking and cleaning and catching up on laundry. I mean like honest rest. And I had to do this with myself. Like, I have days where I have to completely shut down because I spent like every day, my mind is like working 24/7. Like, I have 100 tabs open right now thinking about what I got to do when I finish doing this. What am I going to do later on today? What I have to do tomorrow? Like, just constantly thinking about different things. I need to shut down. I need to just shut this down. That's where self-care comes in. It's called the practice, is what the definition is. The practice of taking action to preserve yourself. How are you preserving yourself? You know, we have to practice and train ourselves to rest properly. You know, it's necessary. I do encourage you to look up the 7 different forms of rest. And I do also encourage you to take the quiz. I probably will, I'll link the quiz below so that you can go to the quiz, take the quiz, and see if you are in need of rest and what type of rest you need. Because you can't give 100% and you won't eat. I mean, it just doesn't work. We have to make sure that we're pouring and we're investing in ourselves, and we are pouring and investing rest in ourselves to make sure that we are taken care of. So I'm not trying to knock you getting your nails done, getting your hair done, going to get a massage, going for a walk, or, or taking that kickboxing class. I'm not knocking those forms of self-care, because again, those are forms of self-care. But it's so important that you also take care of your mental and your emotional health, because honestly, when you don't take care of your emotional and your mental health, those things that we think are, we think that our emotional and our mental health, like we don't see those things. So we don't give it as much attention as we do our physical bodies, like working out, going to the gym, walking, eating right, and things like that. But if we neglect our mental and our emotional health, the stress and all of that can actually present itself as sickness and illness in our bodies. So we can become physically sick if we're not taking care of our emotional and mental health. So, I mean, honestly, what I'm saying is it's almost like I'm not going to say it's more important, but it's just as important. It's a triangle. Everything is equally important. It's all equally important. I'm going to put a triangle right here. How about that? It's a triangle. Everything is equally important, right? So you have your physical, you have your mental, and you have your emotional, and you have to take care of all of those, because if one of them falls, then the whole triangle collapses. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you guys are encouraged. I hope that you participated in one of the little love activities, or possibly completed one of the tasks that I presented to you in this month. Maybe you started something that you were afraid to start and you're overcoming your self-doubt. Maybe you are loving yourself more by showing yourself love in your love language. Maybe you are increasing your self-esteem by saying beautiful things to yourself in the mirror in the morning. I don't know, but I do hope that this February love series has encouraged you. Thank you again for watching. I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you for coming back and subscribing. Make sure that when you subscribe that you turn on the post notifications so that you can receive a notification whenever I post another video. Make sure that you comment, drop down below some things that you may do in order to maintain your mental and your emotional health. What are some of your favorite forms of self-care? Drop that down below in the comments for me. I hope that you guys have an awesome day, that you protect your peace, that you set boundaries with the word no, and that you get you some rest. So take care and have a great day. Bye.